It's Friday, just got paid. New shoes, new restaurant, movies, and it's gone. When it comes to payday, it's hard to know the best things to do with your money. So today, I'm going through step by step the 8 things you need to do with your money as soon as you get paid. The first and most important thing you need to do is find your financial baseline. When it comes to personal finance, most people feel like it's too much work, but that's why most people struggle. 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck because they commit one of the worst financial mistakes. In psychology, they call it mental accounting. Basically, it's when you mentally categorize your money instead of physically writing it down. In May, you might receive a tax refund from the IRS, and you mentally categorize this as extra fun money. You get excited and start spending it. A new PS5, a new TV, or Mr. Magic Lamp. The problem is, this money is the same as your regular income. You just pay too much in taxes and the IRS is just returning it. The good news is the solution is simple. Open up a spreadsheet and take account of all your monthly expenses. Rent, internet, pineapple pizza, floss. So putting all this together in a Google Sheet was a great way for me to discover how much I needed to survive every month with my current lifestyle. I'm self-employed, so my income varies widely, and this is just a great number to know. All right, now for the real work. Delete the expense items that aren't your core essentials. Yeah, that means Netflix, staplers, your Candy Crush subscription, and then sign up for my free weekly newsletter, Rethinkable, to build a wealthier and healthier life, link below. After a grueling self-reflection moment, you should end up with just a few core expenses. First, housing, which could be rent or mortgage. Generally, you want this to be under 30% of your income. Second, groceries and food, about 10% of your income. Third, insurance and utilities like internet, cell phone, and electricity, about 10%. This number now becomes your financial baseline, the absolute bare minimum you need to survive each month. Aim to keep your financial baseline under 50% of your total income. If it's over, look for expenses that you can easily swap for cheaper ones. Do you really need that apartment with an indoor pool, a phone plan that has satellite coverage, or free-range organic pasture-raised avocados? Knowing your financial baseline builds the foundation for the next step. What would it feel like to have saved up to 6 months worth of expenses in your bank account at all times? Imagine the kind of freedom and peace of mind you'd have knowing that if you ever got sick, lost your job, or get injured, you'd be completely fine. This is why having an emergency fund is crucial. Mathematicians explain why with the Murphy's Law. Basically, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Instead of asking your parents for money again, or pulling out your credit card going further into debt, you'll have something to fall back on. A study found that as much as 56% of Americans can't afford an unexpected $1,000 expense, and 22% don't have an emergency fund at all. I remember when I got into a car accident when I was 20 that cost me about $5,000 to fix. If I didn't have any emergency fund saved up, I might have needed to take out a loan, and paying back that loan with interest would have easily cost more than $7,000. Generally, you want your emergency fund to cover 6 months of your financial baseline. If your baseline is $3,000 a month, you need to save $18,000 for emergencies. Emergencies don't include a wild night out, vacations, or pineapple pizza cravings. The money should only be used when all hell breaks loose. When your house floods, when you get stranded in the middle of nowhere and have no other options, basically when your life is FUBAR, that's when you use your emergency fund. Once you fill your emergency fund, immediately move to the next step. 77% of American adults are in debt, and this is something that we've just all accepted as the norm. Maybe we bought luxury clothes we didn't need to keep up a lifestyle we couldn't afford, or purchased new furniture when we could have used Craigslist. One of the worst things with debt is that it strangles your monthly income. When you're paying hundreds of dollars or more for your credit cards, your car loans, it quickly eats up the amounts you can save and invest. So forget about cutting back on avocado toast and iced coffee, because paying off your high interest debt will save you thousands in interest and fees. If you have a credit card balance of $6,500 with an interest rate of 19.5%, and you decide to only pay the minimum payment of $130 per month, it's gonna take you 8 years. 8 years to pay it all off with an additional $6,000 in interest. So what's the best strategy to pay off your high interest debt early? There are two ways to do this. You could tackle the high interest rate loans first. Credit cards, payday loans, car loans, stuff with an interest rate of 10% or more. Pay off the highest interest rate first and then move on to the next loan. This is called the avalanche method, and mathematically speaking is the cheapest and most efficient way to pay off your loans. Another option is called the snowball method. Although it is less efficient, it takes a more psychological approach. Instead of focusing on the interest rates, you tackle the smallest loan amount first. You'll be able to pay these off quicker, which builds momentum and motivates you to keep going. For me, when I first got serious about personal finance and paying off my debt, I consolidated everything into a Google spreadsheet. It contained each debt, the amount I owed, and their interest rate. Every time I made a payment, I would open up the spreadsheet and manually adjust the remaining amount. Every other day, I would visualize paying off the debt until everything went to zero. And this motivated me to keep pushing. After you pay off your high interest debts, you'll have a bit more wiggle room with your monthly income. But before you do anything, you need to prioritize the next step. When it comes to investing, most people think of flashing screens, day trading, and aggressive screaming. But apart from what you've seen on Wolf of Wall Street, investing doesn't need to be hard or overwhelming. The basics are easy, and once you're familiar with them, you could make millions in your lifetime. Einstein once said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." Compound interest is the reason that you should have started investing yesterday. Over time, the stock market returns about 10% a year, meaning your money will essentially double every 10 years without you needing to do anything. If you invest $6,000 each year from 25 to 65 years old with an annual return of 10%, you'll end up with a total of over $2.7 million. If you choose not to invest and instead you just keep that money under your mattress, you're gonna end up with a total of $240,000. That difference is huge, and that can easily change your life. You can get my free investing starter kit to learn the basics of stock investing to easily and confidently start investing today. Link below. The problem is, which investing account should you invest with first? Taxable brokerage, 401k, IRA, HSA, knowing which to prioritize will maximize your returns and minimize your taxes. For most people, you should first put money into your 401k account, a workplace retirement plan that offers matching contributions, essentially free money. If your 401k plan offers this match, contribute enough to meet the matching amount. When it comes to your 401k, not only can you get free money, you can also lower your taxable income. If you earn $90,000 a year and your employer matches up to 3% of your salary, that means they'll give you $2,700 of free money. If you contribute 10% of your $90K income to your 401k plan, when tax season comes, you'll only pay taxes on $80,000 instead of your $90K salary. After you max out your employer match with your 401k, contribute to a Roth IRA account. Unlike the 401k, where contributions are pre-tax, with a Roth IRA, contributions are post-tax, which means you'll first pay taxes on your $90,000 salary before you can add it to your Roth IRA. The advantage of a Roth IRA is that you don't have to pay taxes on any of the earnings in this account, and you can withdraw your contributions at any time. So even though you're contributing money into a retirement account, you can withdraw money from the principal whenever you want. After taking advantage of your retirement accounts, it's time to invest with a regular taxable brokerage. Unlike the 401k and Roth IRA, there aren't any obvious tax advantages, but it is one of the next best places to invest your excess money. For me personally, I've been investing with Moomoo for years, and for a limited time, if you create an account with my link below and meet the deposit requirements, you can get up to 16 stocks for free. With all my investment accounts, I primarily invest in low-cost mutual funds for the long term. When you invest for the long term, you're not checking your account every day, week, or month. You're putting your money in, you're making sure you have everything set, and then you're checking it maybe twice a year. But you're not stressing out every time the stock market's having a panic attack. The problem is, most people just can't stomach the ups and downs the market takes. And over the past year, things have been looking a bit dicey. Normally, this is when people make one of the worst financial mistakes. In finance, they call this timing the market. Basically, it's when the market isn't doing too hot. So you decide to stop investing or pull all your money out and wait on the sidelines to get back in the right time. There's two problems with this. First, you don't know if the stock market is going to go lower or higher because no one knows. Just like how economists have predicted 30 out of the last 3 market crashes. Second, even if you pull out at a really fantastic time when the stock market was really high and then it crashes, you need to be right a second time to put it back in at the right time. The best solution based on hard data and math is to simply invest a fixed amount every month consistently. Doesn't matter whether it's going up, doesn't matter if it's going down. Let's say you invest $200 into Apple stock every single month for 5 years. If you're investing a fixed amount of money each time you buy, you'll get more shares when the stock price is lower and fewer when the stock price is higher. Over time, this will minimize the cost per share you pay for your stock. So if you have $300 to invest and you're looking at a very volatile stock called Magic Lamp Company, in the first month it's $10 per share. In the second month it's $5. In the third month it's $20. Here's where dollar cost averaging comes in. Say you want to invest $100 a month for 3 months. So at the end of 3 months, you would have bought 10 shares in the first month, 20 shares in the second month, and then 5 shares in the third month. So now you have 35 shares for $300 for an average price per share of $8.57. Your price per share isn't the cheapest at $5 per share, assuming you could tell the future and bought everything in the second month, but it's also not the most expensive at $20 per share if you bought everything in the third month. After you're invested, move on to the next step. When it comes to life, time is the most valuable resource. It's the only thing we can't buy more of. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you have or saved if you don't actually have the time to enjoy your life. In economics, they call it opportunity cost. Basically, the time you spend doing something is time not spent on doing something else. On Sunday, you might spend 3 hours washing the floors, wiping the windows, throwing out the trash, but what if you spent those 3 hours working on a side hustle? If you can make $90 in 3 hours and you can hire someone to clean your house for $30, then your time might be better spent on the side hustle. Over time, you can use the difference to invest, grow your money, and buy even more time back to do more of the things you love. Write down tasks that you absolutely hate to do. Cleaning the toilet, mowing the lawn, or driving 40 minutes to get groceries. Write down how much time it takes you to do each task, how much money you could be making if instead of doing this task, you were just working on your side hustle. Then look into how much it costs to hire someone else to do the task. So putting all this together was helpful to see if it made more financial sense to hire someone to do something or to keep doing it myself. But the most important step of all is this. I remember for a long time, I did everything manually, paying my bills, saving for a house, investing. The problem is this takes dedicated time and brain power every week. In psychology, they call it decision fatigue. Basically, when you make a lot of decisions during your day, the quality of each new decision decreases over time. In the morning, you might be able to make really great choices one after another, but later that evening, when you get closer to 10,000 decisions, you might make mistakes that you later regret. Buying a pair of AirPod Max, Mr. Magic Lamp, or this overpriced stapler. But what if I told you that you can easily automate your finances so you never need to think about it again? When it comes to setting up guideline automation, it's gonna save you so much time and headache in the long run. Nowadays, I don't have to think twice about whether I paid my bills, if I invested this week. I don't need to track anything because I know it's already done. Here's how to do it. First, make sure your paychecks are automatically deposited into your checking account. Then, with your bank, set up automatic transfers to move your paycheck into the first of 2 new accounts, your spending account and your savings account. Your spending account includes fixed monthly bills and essential expenses like groceries, gas, and pineapple pizza. By knowing how much you normally spend in a month, set spending targets for non-essentials like restaurants, movies, and Uniqlo. Then set up automatic transfers at the end of the month to move what's left over into your second account, savings. From here, the money in savings should flow into whichever step you're at. Saving for an emergency fund, paying off high interest debt, investing, or opportunity cost. And that leads me to something that you've got to start accepting. And it's that even if you're doing all these steps, sometimes you still might not feel like you're not doing a good job financially. And that might be because you don't know these 14 subtle signs. Click here to find out if you're financially doing better than you think.